Jeffrey's a weak, emotional, modern young man. He doesn't go to the gym consistently, but when he does go once every 7 months, he's put to shame by the women in there. Jeffrey goes in and does a little bitch workout. He hops from machine to machine, not even getting close to failure. Jeffrey, you could do more than 6 reps on that, but he stops. He doesn't want to feel the burn. He wants to avoid any kind of discomfort. Jeffrey does not know that discomfort is how men are made. Modern men, the Jeffreys of the world, are put to shame by women who are more disciplined than them. That's backwards. Adonis does the hard work, especially when he doesn't feel like it, for he is a disciplined, strong man. He is so masculine that the women around him can't help but to be feminine. He is so strong and dominant that the women around him can't help but to be submissive. And that's a good thing. That is how men and women need each other to come together in a relationship to unite. But Adonis looks around and we don't have this anymore. Men are feminine, women are masculine. No one needs each other anymore, and so we're all lonely. You know what's a normal thing for me to see these days, and you probably see this as well when you go to the gym? Look around and I guarantee you see a bunch of like disciplined, focused women. They're probably running businesses. They're in there lifting heavy weights, doing heavy compounds, like literally training hard as fuck, headphones on, don't disturb me, focused, building some like thick physiques, like strong looking physiques, lifting some like that gets 2 points, lifting some heavy weights. These women are strong, they're disciplined, they're ambitious, they've got goals. And then you take one look at the modern man, flabby, low testosterone, shitty facial hair. He blames it on genetics, watches porn. You know, one of the things, like, this is going to be a side rant. This wasn't supposed to be like a semen retention video, but what happens to a bull when you castrate it? What happens to any kind of animal? Think of a pet. Before you castrate a male pet, like a dog, a cat, it's adventurous, it's feisty, it's living life how a male is supposed to. And when you castrate it by chopping off its balls, stopping its production of testosterone and semen, it's docile, it's weak, it's submissive. A big sin that most modern men are doing. Why they're so weak and not disciplined. They castrate themselves daily. They watch porn whilst death gripping their dick, like, you know, squeezing their dick because that's all they can feel it anymore. Hard squeeze on the dick, jacking off multiple times a day, wondering why they've got no energy to do anything. Do you think it's a fair assessment to say the average woman is probably more disciplined than the average man these days? Women 100% have their own problems. As I speak about Jeffreys, there are a lot of Jessicas. The Jessicas are the female version of Jeffrey who do nothing productive. They eat pizza all the time. They just sit there and just waste away watching like Netflix and scrolling on social media and just being toxic. There's a lot of Jessicas, there's a lot of Jeffreys, but I actually believe there's more women becoming more like Anastasia than there are men becoming more like Adonis. If this was a normal YouTube channel, we'd say, yay, go girls, like, come on guys, we need to do it. Shut the fuck up, bro. What you need to understand, because it might seem weird, you might be thinking, wait, why is Hamza getting angry at like disciplined women? Isn't that a good thing for a woman to become strong? Now, it could be. If she needs to be strong, then yes, she should become strong. But it is the fact that women need to become strong that is so repulsive to me. And this is nothing against women. Because think about it, why would modern women, so many more and more women, need to become strong and disciplined, ambitious, goal-focused? Because so many modern men are weak, submissive, and distracted. In cultures where men are still men, strong, masculine leaders, powerful, dominant, their women don't need to be strong. Their women don't need to develop masculine features. Because of that, their women can then nurture their feminine side. Feminine energy has been killed off in the modern day. And you know what? Femininity, and this should be a separate video. This is interesting as fuck when you hear this. Feminine energy and masculine energy are being killed off, especially in the West. Men are being told to be more feminine, be less masculine. Women are being told to be more masculine and less feminine. It's turning us into like an how'd you say that fucking word? But adrenalis. Fuck. How'd you even spell it, bro? Adrenalis.
Orange is Gymnosaurus.
Androgynous, partly male and partly female in appearance, having the physical characteristics of both sex. Androgyny has become more and more common, and it's very normal to see guys who look a lot more like girls. They've got softer features, and it's very, very normal these days. Like, I see it a lot of girls who look way more manly, and they're literally built like they're muscular, and they're not just muscular in like the legs anymore. They train upper body harder than most guys do. They cut their hair short. A lot of like Jeffreys, like normies watching this, especially like those sort of feminists who hate men kind of thing, a lot of those people watching this will be pissed off that I'm saying this, and they'll be like, yeah, but you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want and look how you want. Yeah, fair enough. Do whatever you want. But we should ask, why is this becoming more common? And is it a good thing? Because it's no doubt that loneliness is at its all-time high. It's no doubt that depression is at its all-time high, that relationships are at its all-time low. What used to be the biggest source of fulfillment in our lives is becoming more and more rare, like a real long-term loving relationship, which eventually turns into a family. That's becoming increasingly rare. Over half the women turning 30 don't have children these days. Why do you think that is? Because it's very easy to just say, yep, we don't want children. But why is that happening? Because modern women have to now focus more on like masculine goals because there aren't enough masculine men. One of the things that you will notice, and if you don't believe me, like there's going to be a lot of people who don't believe this and they're going to argue about everything they say. There's only one real way to test this out, right? There's only one real way. Become more masculine yourself and see the difference in the women around you. When you become more masculine, the women around you automatically become more feminine. And especially when you get to like that intellectual growth, when you understand these things, you read books like The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida, and you have like conversations about this, bro. This is one of the things, like I could fucking rant about this for a while. I have conversations very frequently with women when we talk about feminine, masculine energy, and I seem to say things in a certain way. Maybe like I need a girl next to me to like, you know, you can watch us debate this, and like she doesn't know what I'm about to say, you know, it's quite authentic. Because if you could watch in on one of these conversations where I like, not red pill, but like I feminine pill a woman live, because I've done it now to like, I can't even count how many women, but it's such a beautiful thing. This isn't like, you know, me like, oh, like abusing them and saying like, oh, you're a stupid bitch or you know, anything like this. It's literally like we have quite a lovely conversation, and you break down like the social barriers, the conditioning, the brainwashing that like so many women have been through. And you, as soon as like, it's hard for me to say it right now, but I just wish you could have seen the last few conversations, because you literally see like this veil being pulled back from this girl's face, and she's like, oh, that makes so much sense. And you almost see like feminine energy radiating from her, especially if this is based on some kind of like relationship. You know, it's a girl that I've started to date, and like she can start being more in her feminine because I'm bringing the masculine side. It's such a beautiful thing to see, and it's happening more and more because I'm really, you know, I'm aware of this. I'm really thinking about it. I find this incredibly interesting, thinking about masculine, feminine energy. Why are women so masculine these days? Why are men so feminine? When you start having these conversations with women, especially when you become more masculine yourself, you see society's conditioning get pulled back from this girl who was once like a lot more in her masculine energy, goal striving, and you know, really focused on like work and not thinking about family. It's a shame that the majority of men have become so weak that our women need to build up their strength to make up for it. Because how polarity, sexual polarity, I've said that a few times in this video, how sexual polarity works is that you have to kind of be on like balance, like on the opposite side of each other. So if there's a really masculine man, the women in his life will be really feminine because they're in balance, they're like opposites of each other, so they're here. But if there's like more of an androgynous man and also an androgynous woman, they'll be here. Now they're still balanced, they're still kind of opposites, you know, but it's less polarized, it's less extreme. So this is why we could get deep as fuck, but this is why you hear one of the most cringe things that I hear about relationships these days, which is where people say, oh, we're like best friends. It's spending all day with my best friend. Now you're getting worried and almost interested. Wait, you thought that was a good thing? You've always heard that, haven't you? Like, oh yeah, the relationship with my best friend. A masculine man and a feminine woman aren't really friends. They'll come together for sexual polarity, for growth of a family, but they wouldn't see each other as like friends. That relationship, which is like best friends, only happens in these sexually depolarized relationships. The modern world has convinced you that this is the right way, that we should be depolarized, that masculine men should be more feminine and be in touch with their emotions. Shut the fuck up. That women should be stronger, and she should be like a strong, independent woman, and she's so focused on her career. And all what's left is that everyone round here, everyone who isn't on the more of the extreme side of the spectrum of masculine feminine, they're empty. There's no reason for these people to be together. This is why you see the majority of relationships are so toxic, so short-termed, because they have no need for each other. Why would a woman near the middle who brings a lot of her own masculine energy need a man? What's the benefit? What's the value provided for her to be next to a man? She can have sex outside of a relationship. She can pleasure herself outside of a relationship. She makes her own money now. She brings her own masculine direction and guidance and leadership, so she doesn't need men anymore. Why would a man who's way more on this side, who's got way too much like feminine energy, why would he even choose to be ambitious, to develop himself so that he can attract a woman? He doesn't need it. He has his own feminine energy, so he succumbs to fucking porn and social media and video games and distraction. To some people, we come across as like these weird, like women hating alpha male misogynist who are weird. Every time I'm labeled as a misogynist when I talk about this stuff, and a sexist, and oh, you must hate women, I just think like, if only they knew how much I love women, how much I crave feminine energy, how much I value that. But if you speak ill about the way that modern like gender works, you're a bad person. So keep this to yourself. What we discuss here in these videos, because these aren't like normal videos. You don't click on like a video by me and it's like a normal like how 7 ways to be productive. This is a fucking cult. This is a cult where we talk more about like controversial underground stuff where like the majority of people don't feel comfortable talking about this. And yet you've watched this far of the video because your brain is just clued in. You've pulled back like the layers of the Matrix. What you see before you is a cult of men who aim to become stronger, more masculine, more powerful, so that when we push ourselves through holistic self-improvement, through wanting to become more like Adonis, the ultimate male, we push ourselves more onto the masculine side of this spectrum. Every video that you see me post will make you a little bit more masculine if you sit there and watch it with intent and follow the actionable, like the steps, the advice that I give out. That is like the underlying mission for us. Be more masculine so that the women around us can be more feminine. And when you have this polarity, there is a need for each other. I really hope you experience that, because when you find a woman who, when you're in your masculine, she's in her feminine, you really feel like, oh, I've never felt complimented like by a woman before. Do you know what it's like? Oh yeah, you can meet a girl and Snapchat and text messages and have sex and stuff, and it's kind of nice. But when you have this like polarized energy with a woman, and she sees like your masculine, ambitious side, she sees your goals, your mission, your purpose, and she fuels that, she inspires you for that, and you see her and you see like she has such a need to be like filled with love and feel secure, and you can give her that, and you come together and unite, and it's like now you are whole. I think that's the single best experience of life, and the majority of people don't get to experience that because they've been depolarized. I'm not allowing that to happen to me. I think you shouldn't allow that to happen to yourself. Your goal, your big mission, your this chapter of your life is all about pushing yourself more onto this side, and you do that through the things that I preach. Become more successful, take a step back from modern addictions, social media, porn, video games. No excuses. Stop eating junk food, modern like Jeffrey food. Get into the gym, lift some heavy weights, and keep lifting heavier and heavier and heavier every week. Eat right, meditate, journal, be amongst your brothers, and even try to lead them. These are the things that make you more masculine. You'll learn about them in the videos that I post. Scroll down right now, click on the subscribe button, and if you're very interested, if you're moved by this video and the way that I talk, click on my YouTube name, just go through my channel and watch a couple of those other videos. I'll repeat again, this is not a normal YouTube channel. This is a cult. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.